Kensil Culture, Puppets, Props, Puns, Podcasts.
Everybody, it's time once again for Kensil Culture, and introduced right now by the legendary Wid is the one, the only, the editor and publisher of Kensil Culture magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the one, the only, John Kensil.
Hey, losers. Wonderful listeners and watchers of our super show. I'm John Kensil, legendary Wid. We just introduced ourselves. We had an exciting couple of days off.
Yes, we did.
We did some interesting shows. We're at the Parks Casino with Jackie the Joke Man.
Jackie the Joke Man from the Howard Stern Show, a very good friend of mine for a very long time. He came to Philadelphia a real lot when I was starting out. Even when I was the doorman at the Comedy Works, he was always nice to me, and we always saw eye to eye.
And a good guy. There's a million zillion jokes. And
a zillion jokes.
We were at the lounge. I'm not going to badmouth anybody. We were at the lounge, though.
Right here.
Yeah, at the casino. And because of the coronavirus, they have the performers up on a stage. And you're about 6 feet off the ground behind a bar.
Right.
And the audience is about 20 feet that way. And Joe Conklin went destroyed. I had a very good time. I had a nice time. Wid had a tremendous time showing his props, and they loved it. But Jackie thinks it wasn't the greatest for him, and I was in the audience. I thought it was hilarious, but he wasn't too happy with the. I'm not going to say anything bad. They said anything bad. He just he didn't think he had a great super show, even though I think he did, and so did the audience sitting around me.
Well,
Very
that's what
funny.
It takes to be a professional sometimes, John. You have to judge yourself. And a lot of times I come off stage, go, "Oh, I hated that one, man. That was the worst. I can't stop." And then people will come up to you and go, "Hey, man, you're so funny. You know, I want to have your child." And that's just the guys. But of course, we're self-judging. I mean, we're self-employed and we self-judge and analyze.
Yeah, it's
with
like
a big A.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's like when you take Pepto-Bismol, do me a solid. But so we had a great time carrying on.
At Parks Casino. Now, it's so funny that there are so many like satellite casinos out there now. I can remember when pretty much the only one that we had was resorts in Atlantic City. And now, we work a couple of them. We work the Mohegan Sun.
Yeah,
we work Parks and.
With Dover Downs I was at, and plus I performed in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, and it's. I'll tell you what, too. Sometimes you'll see like, oh my God, check out these big time comedians like Larry Fine and R.J. Johnson at the casinos, but they're in the big showroom. A lot of times when you get booked for comedy, you're in a lounge, which means there's people sitting there just having their drinks, vaping, and waiting for so you can start gambling again. You want to be a big enough comedian to be in the 1,000-seat showroom, which is where we saw Joe Conklin the week earlier. Tremendous. He performed with an orchestra. That was really fun.
Tremendous. It was a salute to Philadelphia music and sports. Sports, the big F. Harry Callis Jr.
was there, yeah.
Was there. Is that what his name is?
Grandpa Fanatic was there.
All right, folks. But it was a big time, and Joe was never better. And I didn't know he could sing so well. He was with
could.
A local band, the
Rhythm City Orchestra.
Rhythm City Orchestra.
They have
known them for years and years.
They have a really good female singer, Joanne Farrell, who used to sing with The Exceptions, and she's a real nice person. She can sing like a racehorse. And at the end of the show that night, Wid sang with her and the guitar player, and they sang "Good Lovin' by the Rascals." And,
that's pretty much of the standard, Good Lovin'. And I do love the Rascals. They are New Jersey, boys, and They've always that was my favorite record when I was growing
Oh,
up.
it's a great song.
I could the timepieces, okay, the Rascals' greatest hits. I could fall asleep to that. You know, I knew everything from "How Can I Be Sure" to
They're really good.
You know, grooving, and
Fields.
they had.
Oh wait,
They were with Joey D and the Starlighters, who invented the peppermint twist, which led into, you know, the wild 60s.
wait, you have glasses. Were the Rascals originally the Young Rascals or the Little Rascals?
No, they were the Young Rascals, okay? And then they had, I think there was some sort of copyright
Yeah, and then,
sort of heartbreak that went on there.
and well, there's also a band from California called Spanky and Our Gang.
I remember Spanky and I. Sunday will never be.
yeah.
She, the lead singer of that, Spanky, okay, Spanky and Our Gang. She took over as Mama Cass after Cass passed away from.
Eating, choking on a ham sandwich.
That's a lie, John. That is a lie. Why do you spread lies like that?
I saw Mama Cass at the All Country Buffet, and you know what she said to me?
What?
Get your own.
The Mamas and the Papas, you should have been brought up better. But no, the Mamas and the Papas used her because she had you know, she was a woman of size with a
Tremendous
bowing
voice. And she was only like 33 when she made herself die. But she could really sing. And also, too, I think that was viciously mean and evil of Papa John Phillips and Mamas and the Papas. They have some song that goes, and no one's getting fat except Mama Cass, and she had to sing it with them.
And she sang, and I saw that recently, and I saw, I wanted to see some twinge of, you know, it's like pain in the song that she was singing, and yet she took it, mugged the camera, went like this, you know patted her, you know, ample figure.
I saw her on a rerun of Laughing. And it was all fat jokes. She was saying them, right? Like, hey, she's like a Girl Scout. She goes, I ate them all. And he goes, where were they at? She goes, in my garage.
Oh,
right?
my
It was
God.
and she made fun of her weight. But there's a really nice video, too, on YouTube of Mama Cass singing Leaving on a Jet Plane with John.
Very nice
Denver.
song. A great song.
She's tremendous. But so the casino was really fun. It was really neat. Then the next week, the next Friday, we did a show at an Irish bar in Northeast Philadelphia. I don't want to name his name, but a year ago, did you know this?
When Irish eyes are smiling.
Well,
it's not Irish eyes.
Well, a year ago in this bar, and it's not. You know what's weird too? It's not a bad bar. It's a high-end Irish nightclub, Irish bar, Irish nightclub.
Yeah, they have 8 different kind of potatoes.
Yeah. Send your letters to his house.
I didn't want to do another bar joke. Okay,
but they sharpen their dartboards, needles, and stuff. But it was a real nice place. But a year ago, someone got shot in that place. A guy got thrown out, and he rode by and shot a bullet through the front window and killed a girl playing pool. And but they
took balls.
I'll say, yeah, and they got the guy too. But it was just a horrible. But anyway, they're very nice people there.
I'm not going to say hole in one.
No.
Okay.
Ooh, Gotten Himmel. All right. And but it was a real nice time, but it was in the basement. So Wid and I got there early, and we had to carry all stuff to the basement.
Not too bad. It wasn't too bad. It was, you know.
And it was for this guy in Philadelphia who's a legend named the Pickle Man. The Pickle Man's like probably a 73-year-old guy, and
who, just picture this, a cross between Big Bird and Rod Stewart at his finest.
Yes, that's a good way. He has the body of the Philly fanatic with a Rod Stewart wig on his head that he takes off, and he looks like Uncle Fester, right? And he sells pickles in Philadelphia. So when he sells pickles to different establishments, he goes, I can book a comedy show for you. So he sells pickles and books comedy shows. Look him up online. I got
the Pickle Man. He's famous for he was on
America's Funniest People.
And tell him what he was driving.
Well, he was the spinoff from America's Funniest Videos. So it was people doing funny things. And the beginning of the show, you hear a song, "Are you funny in America?" And it's just people like making faces and googly eyes. Well, it shows him 35 years ago, riding down the boardwalk in some shore town on a 3-wheeled old person's bike. You see, like that.
Right. Like a seashore bike.
A seashore bike, an old people, like, or a guy even selling ice cream out of the front of it. But there's no seat. He has a toilet. And he rides on the board going, poop, there it is. Toilet joke, toilet. Number 2, right?
You know, and he's getting kind of older. And when he got off the toilet bike, he was flushed. No, I'm sorry. That was... No, but Pickle Man is a what we call in the business a character.
Yes.
And he got up there and he, he still tells the jokes. And he's out there. He's got a couple of toes missing.
Yeah. From, I don't know what he has. Yeah.
Yeah, from something.
But he actually is a character you have to meet. As life goes on, they're slowly dying off, like these weirdo bookers and stuff.
The weirdo bookers are doing it because it's becoming much more corporate, like everything else, because of computer. But he's one of the rare sort of hands-on, grassroots sort of booker.
And when he's done, he'll pay you, and then he'll say, "You want any pickles or pig's feet or hot mustard or horseradish?"
Oh yeah,
it's really
perks.
So we do the show in the basement, and it was a very nice Friday out. The weather was nice.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd say there's maybe 30 people there. So I go up and host it, and then we brought up our friend Nick Palo. He's a puppet guy, and he's the nicest guy in the world. He's
not just a puppet guy, John. He's a sort of a horror puppet guy, and he has like really, really detailed sort of horrific sort of hand.
He must have spent some money. He must have spent some money having a ventriloquist puppet builder make its what's his name? It's like Lenny the Zombie, Iggy the Zombie. It's a name like
he has a zombie, he has a vampire, he has a wolf man. He has some sort of Frankenstein.
He should make an audience puppet. No, I'm kidding. But no, this puppet though, like Zombo the puppet. But it's like a 3/4 size. It's a bigger ventriloquist stuff, but it's very horrific looking. Like his eyes hang out of his head. He has worms coming out of his.
Hey, I'm sitting right here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
But so during his set, he pulls out an alcoholic puppet. Goes out. It's like, hey, Freddie, what's going on? I don't have long to live. No, he didn't say that. But he.
What was that? Was the alcoholic puppet shellacked? Okay, sorry.
I've been drinking paint thinner. One of the jokes he does, if he ever hears this, hey, what's going on, Billy the alcoholic puppet, because alcoholism's funny. I stayed up all night studying for a urine test. Jokes like that. So anyway, during his set, the drains backed up.
I get it. For a urine test. And it was... and he thought it was like school.
He's stupid. He's smart.
Man.
Right? And he so then he said, well, how'd the test go out? And he goes, they didn't find any alcohol in my urine stream. Anyway, or blood in my alcohol stream, whatever hell it was. But anyway, so during his set, though, the drains backed up, right? And Rotor came in, right? And I'm watching the guy. So the puppet's on stage like...
I forgot about the Rotor guy.
How do you like school? Closed. I'm going to die soon because I'm an alcoholic puppet. And so they had that, and the drain guy comes behind the bar, and I'm watching it, and you hear... And then and it was just ridiculous. It wasn't actually super loud, but I accidentally filmed it with my camera by accident.
I think the guy was trying to be a little courteous to the people who were on stage while he was
he was running the snake,
cleaning out the sore in the same room as people were eating.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh man, I would want my money back if I was.
Oh man, but it was actually a good time. Then Pickle Man went up, and tells his jokes like, I don't know if I can say it in private company. What's he say?
He uses the C word.
Yes.
You pick the C word, what it might be. Yes. Okay, and he describes all sorts of bodily functions, sexual and not. Is that a real one?
It's Sonny Bono.
I thought it was pro bono.
Oh, but I don't want to say what he said, but he says.
Thank you for sharing Sonny Bono.
Right. So,
I'm proud of myself for that.
but it was very interesting. But he tells street jokes. And I'll tell you something about Pickle Man. He's very confident in when he tells jokes.
Yeah.
So I forget.
Well, he's a salesman. He's out there like he's he's homegrown, and the pickles are out there. No matter how bad he does or how how other comedians judge him. Oh, he's just using street jokes and he's an old guy and he does that. He has such confidence from being a salesman that he sells those jokes.
Yeah, he does.
And I've never seen him have a very bad set.
No, neither did I.
I've seen brilliant comics have bummer sets that were, were clever material, and it just didn't click.
Now, I know some people might think, listen to these two old...
You know what was the funniest thing he said? I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. We can talk about his mom.
Okay,
so we're talking about, yeah. Tell me what he said.
The guy is 72 years old, and his mom is like...
Has to be 96?
96, I think. Or maybe a little younger.
74.
She looks like a 90-year-old. But she got caught.
Oh, this is interesting. I said this could be a plot for a movie. His mother was in her late 80s, and here she got caught cheating at major bingo games at churches in the city of Philadelphia. And what it was, a big pot would be, hey, we have a $3,000 thing, no one hit yet, right? Well, here she was working in cahoots with the bingo caller, and she was stamping the cards out to win. And here she did it several times, and she got 2 years in jail.
Yeah, which I always thought that you're sort of immune from jail after you're like, in
a certain
80s,
age, yeah.
But I thought it was so interesting to see that there's a seedy underbelly of bingo.
We should look this up and find the story out and tell the story on here.
But she got 2 years, and
he told me,
and she just got out.
Yeah, and he told me that she played bingo so much.
Oh yeah,
that she developed a tumor from playing bingo.
She did,
but fortunately, it was B9.
B-I-N-G-O.
But it was just very interesting. He tells his story. He goes, and he wasn't kidding when he said it. In fact, they had T-shirts printed up. Remember?
They had T-shirts like "Mama's getting out" or some sort of what you would want and you can do.
She got 2 years in jail, and like Wood said, I bet she didn't get 2 years. She probably got like a month, and she had to do house arrest or something like that.
That's like the old joke. What did your mother say when you got out of jail?
What?
Bye, son.
That's the buffalo. That's what the buffalo say.
I'm sorry,
but Wid told me
she's in jail.
Wid told me he got arrested for stealing two Dracula costumes from Halloween Adventure.
I'm not capable.
No, they got him on 2 counts. So that was but that was just
and I bid for that.
Thank
you, John. Thank you.
But so that was the 1 week. Then the next week we had another Thursday night show.
Yeah, we were out there pretty much on the road. We don't go real far. I mean, that's the beauty of
it was another place
working cheap.
Oh, it was a neighborhood bar in Philadelphia. And I'm not going to say their name, but very nice people there. And it's where the Kirk Quarter.
Oh.
And it's just Thursday, and it was under a tent outside. And before the show started, I said it was too dark in here. So I ran to Home Depot or Lowe's, and I bought one of those clamp-on lights that people work when they're working in their basement. You clip it onto the,
very basic.
With a big bulb in the middle, so you could see us. And so I hosted it, and right next to it is a chemical plant, the Allied Chemical Plant in Philadelphia. And I was saying, oh, yeah, there's the chemical plant. I was outside petting a 2-headed dog because of the chemicals. And they're staring at me like,
okay.
Yeah, did he really pet a 2-headed dog because of the chemicals?
Well, it wasn't B9. It was K9.
Exactly. And there was a guest spotter on the show. Nice kid. Goes up. His parents were there, his mother and sisters and stuff. And very nice kid. But, man, he was freaking dirty, talking about batteries looking like baby boy parts and stuff like that. Then
it's uncomfortable sometimes when you see somebody who is not a seasoned comedian who gets up there and does dirty jokes, because it's a lot of the dirtier comedians will understand the fine line between disgusting
Yes.
and ribald.
Also, too, you don't say stuff in front of your parents, even though it's a really working class neighborhood, right? And I did a show. We did a show. I'm sorry, going back. It's like we're bragging. We did a show this Sunday earlier, and there was a woman on the show, and it was in a church basement. It was on Sunday in media.
Oh yes, beautiful.
Great time. But people there were like 55 and up. They were older, church-going people. No, it wasn't a church show.
Contemporaries.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
But it wasn't a church show. This catering hall owns the hall under the church, right? Well, the female comedian on the show, and she's very nice, but she looks out and she goes, "Oh my God, I got to change my act around." I'm like, your act shouldn't be. I'm not a Puritan. I curse like a racehorse, but your act shouldn't be that. Look at the crowd. You don't do. You don't have to. You don't write jokes.
Well, I would do the same thing going, because you got to test the water sometimes. Like if somebody uses the F-bomb before you can use it.
Yeah.
If somebody, you have to see the rhythm of the people who go on before you.
But this was a 1 o'clock in the afternoon show, and it was all old ladies wearing white sweaters. You don't do the F word or S.
They loved you, John.
I had a really good time because we're in a church basement.
No, I mean they loved you.
Oh, John. And I said, oh, it's nice to be in the church basement. Here, I'll make you ladies feel at home. B 21. I 16. Like I was playing bingo. But I had a very good time, and she did nice though. But there's something about comedy when people first started, especially guys. You go to an open mic night, you see a 28-year-old guy, and his whole act is about going to the bathroom on a turnpike or dead Asian hookers in his trunk, and it's like an immaturity level. It released a switch from they're 13 years old when they're obsessed with sex and toilet jokes. I'm not a Puritan. I can do them. I'm Victor Von racist joke and stuff like that. But
there's a way in life, like anything else, to do something tastefully. Okay, yes. And even if taste is, just like everything else, taste is being pushed by the envelopes. But new mores come in, and we can't do certain jokes because of people's feelings right now, and
exactly
probably for the rest of
our lives. Yeah, but if she wants this woman to perform, she wants to be a comedian. She probably watches all the hot young girl comics like Elaine Boozler or Pat Paulson or Wilford Brimley.
Wait a minute,
the hot comics.
Pat Paulson's a guy.
Oh,
he ran for president. He was on the Smothers Brothers show.
Well, he probably tucked.
Get your,
But you don't see these people comics being filthy dirty on TV. I'm not a Puritan, you pieces of, and but it was a good time. Wid had a great time, and all right. So now we fast forward to the following. Was it Thursday? No, it was Thursday. All right, we get done the show. We had a great time. We were feeling very enthusiastic. Their adrenaline pumping. It was a great time. I had a really good time. Really good time there. All right, yeah. So was that Friday? It was Thursday night when your shed got broken into.
It was a Thursday night. It was Thursday night after our. See, I have vast collections, and I keep it at U-Haul because I used to keep it at relatives or friends' house, and it would always get abandoned or stolen or things like that.
Nice.
So U-Haul has been okay to me for years and years, but I think I was part of a scam. Somebody changed. I had a wimpy lock on my thing. Somebody cut it and put their lock on it and then cased it for a while, and then
So we get done the show Thursday at the neighborhood bar show, and we go, let's unload your stuff tonight before the bad rainstorm that hit for the past week, 5 days. So last Thursday, I pull around this thing, and I go, uh-oh, and Wid sees it because his two storage sheds aren't together. They're a block apart, and here someone snapped open his door, like you said, right? And it's filled to the top, but they pulled the first third of it out, just pulled everything out, and they're not going to find gold bullion in there or
it was all joke books, toys, props,
Jim Neighbors underwear,
television, But you know what, John? I felt real bad, but I didn't cry. I was proud of myself that I didn't cry. I whined and John, you were a very good friend by going and getting me, trash bags and something to eat. How many hours was I there picking the stuff up and putting it back in there?
10:30 at night. All right, and Wid goes. I don't. After shows and stuff too, I'll help Wid when the boxes are assembled. Then I'll put them away because he has a place where everything goes. So they tore a third of his stuff out and they just threw it on. And there's, like you said, there's nothing really valuable in there. Like
to me, there is, and to the
I know. I meant
to the untrained eye, they don't understand. Ephemera being paper and old magazines and things like that.
Yeah.
Things that and they don't understand. Little Matchbox and Hot Wheel cars or lunch boxes.
It was valuable to you.
Pop culture stuff, which this is, cancel culture is famous for.
Yeah, like stuff here, right? I just helped. I straightened it out a little bit. I put some box up for Wid because that means Wid had to go through everything and then put it back in. So I sat in my truck, and then Wid goes, "Can you get me a padlock?" So I drove to a 24-hour Walgreens. I buy a padlock. I come back, and then a little bit later, Wid goes, "Can you get me some trash bags, the big heavy-duty ones?" So because he could put some things there he doesn't need anymore. So went there. I went there a third time, bought like soda and donuts. But the guy must have thought I was a weirdo. I was in there 4 times buying trash bags and locks, like a mass murderer or something like that, right? But so finally, I sat in my truck. I'm not going to abandon him there, right? And finally at 2:30 in the morning, I hear a knock on my window. "All right, John, I'm done." And then we had to,
he was sleeping in his truck like one of those, like a mafia hit subject.
Yeah.
Like somebody got killed in a car and like that. But John, you know what? And folks, it motivated me. Now I have to move that stuff. I have so much stuff. I just was shoving it in there for years, and I found some things that I hadn't seen for a while, and that kind of cheered me up. And then I said the next day, it was all back in there, 2 new locks on it and stuff. I said, even if they did steal stuff, what did they steal? If I can't remember, then it's thing. And
but he had he found like ceramics. Church statues he found.
There were beautiful things that were broke, and I like framed World War II photographs of
soldiers,
and just crushed toys and crushed postcards and things like that. That was the most heartbreaking is to actually see the stuff that was broken instead of, if it's stolen, out of sight, out of mind. But if it's broken, you got to go, oh.
It is kind of neat because, like, Wid travels through the area and he'll find, like, an old box being discarded and it has things from, like, the 1935 World's Fair. It's a postcard.
Yeah.
Like, that's neat to save. It's interesting.
Well, I had most of that in another, most of my, and they didn't get into the back, where you always, everybody, if you watch the, the storage wars, or there's a couple on YouTube that people do it and go out and buy these things, and everybody keeps their best stuff in the back on the right-hand side.
Oh, yeah, I believe that. It's,
it's one of the traits.
I can totally relate to this because I had a 1989 Pontiac Grand Am, and I parked in Center City, Philadelphia to go to a comedy show. It was the middle of winter, and it was a high-end neighborhood too. That Bar Noir, what about 13?
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I was parked right in front of there. Right? I come outside, someone smashed my passenger window, and they stole my collection of CDs. Right, and my CDs are eclectic too, like the Addams Family theme, TV show themes. Right, I could picture this idiot crackhead going to a pawn shop. "Hey man, how much did you give me for this
Mel Torme?
Mel Torme Goes to Mars and wacky packages, phone calls. But it's just, hey, you live in as I've gotten older, don't sweat anything. The sun will come up tomorrow.
That's and I kind of was. I was kind of surprised how resilient I was to bounce back from that and not really it was 4 hours, and the next day I can tell you that every joint in my body hurt, including my heart. But then, as time went by, the physical and mental got better within a short period. So
He's up on his joints.
But what I want to do, and if there's anybody out there in the sound of my voice, I can hear the sound of my, who has a barn, a large storefront, or garage that I could separate my stuff for just 6 months, I'll pay you and everything. But, we're comedians, and John owns his own house, and he needs to get rid of stuff too, or just to organize it.
No, I don't. I'm not getting rid of anything.
So if anybody has some sort of extra space that they want to rent out to Kensil culture people, then you call us right now.
My house is filled
Yeah.
with my little roommates. He's a cheapskate.
It's getting scary, John. I mean, everybody accumulates things. I mean, it's getting scary now, and there's so much manufactured and cheap items that it's just everybody's garage. And
Isn't that weird?
is filled
He's
up.
right about that too. Look at all the storage facilities being built all over, and there's warehouses for companies, but there's U-Haul places, and your life will go on. And, ladies and gentlemen, that is our time.
Hey, can I tell you, John? Mm-hmm. It was a very good weekend we had with a lot of shows and a lot of different shows. We played to everybody from kids to,
Old people,
to super senior citizens.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever feel like having a comedy show, Kensil Culture is right there with you. And for myself and John Kensil, I would like to say keep watching.
Thanks for watching.
And subscribe.
Subscribe and share.
I thought okay.